This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
I am Tim.
How are you doing this week, Tim?
Tom, I am chilled to the GD bone. How are you?
So does that mean you're cold or you're laid back?
No. Well, I'm cold.
Okay.
I'm laid back. And I'm spooked.
About what?
Just the state of the world.
Yeah.
Ghosts. Just in general.
The state of the spirit world.
Exactly. There's a disturbance that I sense.
Yeah. Well, you told me you just watched the new Ghostbusters, so that's you probably
I watched it on a plane, Tom.
That's the best cinema experience.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing.
Oh, so you didn't see it on a plane then? Because when I saw it in 3D, and one of the cool things about it was that the 3D things would occasionally pop out of the letterbox.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, which I had never seen. I was like, wow, they've got that kind of technology. I guess ghosts aren't that far behind after all.
Yeah, this was a distinct 2D experience. I had to watch it over the course of 2 flights because there were short flights.
Right.
Well,
luckily they had the same movies on both flights because a lot of times they don't.
Exactly. But it took me half the flight to fast forward to the part that I needed to get to.
Those are not very good fast forwarding controls.
Yeah, the user interface of these plain TVs could be a lot better.
They just plain stink.
Tom, that was very funny.
Yeah, thank you.
And I did watch the last 15 minutes, the excitement part, Tom. This is a technical movie term, the excitement part.
Right, the excitement part.
Or the last 25 minutes. Here's what happened, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, hey, the lady, the flight attendant came on and said, hey, we're starting our descent into LaGuardia Airport.
So if any of you are watching Ghostbusters.
No, they kept it on. They keep the, what I really love about planes these days.
Yeah, nothing turns off anymore.
Nothing turns off. You watch a movie all through takeoff and landing.
Yeah.
You could always use your iPad and your iPhone. It's great.
Yeah.
Like, do all the crossword puzzles you want. Don't let us bother you.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not going to get to see the end of this movie because they're like, we're starting our final descent. Tray tables up.
I don't mean to
seat
brag,
backs
but I know
up.
some of the
Well, you are a pilot.
Industry
Tom.
lingo, yeah.
It's not bragging. It would frankly be disturbing if you didn't
Tim,
know
let
this
me
kind
tell
of
you,
stuff.
these things are basically on autopilot nowadays.
I think so. And I think my pilots were in a little over their head.
Uh-huh.
Because...
They had one head? One collective head?
Yeah, it was Siamese twins.
Oh, man.
Conjoined twins, sorry.
Yeah, well, that doesn't... that kind of defeats the purpose if you got a pilot and co-pilot, but they're sharing a head.
Yeah, but they both... I think what they go is number of hands.
Yeah.
So there was a 4-hander still. As long as you got 4 hands in the cockpit and at least one head.
Did they have to move the other... Well, it's a tight fit in there anyway, I guess.
Yeah, no, they were fine. I mean, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It was like one of these situations. Dr. Ben Carson was like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot scalpel.
Yeah, he was like a big separating conjoined twins guy, huh?
Yeah. I think he might have done it once and then like bragged about it
more
for
than
30
me.
years, but like also like, hey, it's better than I've ever done.
Yeah.
Slightly.
I mean, I've made numerous attempts.
Yeah. But let us not be defined by our failures.
Right.
So they're like, final descent, here we go. And then extreme turbulence for like 5 full minutes.
Uh-huh.
And then I look out the window. There was nobody in the seat next to me. I was in the aisle. And I was like, man, we're pretty low to the ground. Must be no time that we'll be landing.
Yeah.
And then 5 more minutes of extreme turbulence. And then, like, you know when you feel the plane speed up because it speeds up a lot?
Yeah.
And we shoot back up into the sky.
Yeah.
And the whole time, the turbulence doesn't stop. And, like, we're banking to the right. We're banking to the left. Like, then more extreme turbulence, and we'll, like, kind of, like, descend very, very quickly, and then like more extreme turbulence and more banking, and like things are falling, and like at no point did the steward, not did the flight attendant come on and be like,
did you ask her, hey sweetheart,
I dinged the things and gave her a slap on the bottom, and
go
I was like, hey.
go ask your husband in the cockpit what's going on here.
So that happened, and it was the most terrifying 25 minutes of my life, and not because of all the specters on the screen.
But that sure didn't help. You were probably looking at him going, well, it's going to be me in about 30 seconds.
Right. So I didn't love the new Ghostbusters movie. Ghostbusters Answer the Call is what it's called now?
I think it's just Ghostbusters.
No, I think they rebranded it just to...
Oh, just to like distinguish on flights?
Yeah. Or like in anything. Like I understand. Look, I think people were way too angry about everything about this Ghostbusters thing. The one thing that did anger me is like, stop naming a movie the name that another movie already has.
Yeah.
If anything, just call it like Ghostbusters Answer the Call. Great. That way we know.
Well, officially it's probably like Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah, but like we're going by like IMDb classification.
I think we are sometimes, Tim, because like think about how many movies just have like, one-word titles, and you're like, well, I don't know what that is. I saw that movie Arrival a couple of weeks ago, and there was a movie The Arrival with Charlie Sheen, also about aliens.
What movie is that?
Oh, that movie's terrible. It's from like the maybe mid-90s. I remember seeing a matinee of it in the theaters. Charlie Sheen works at like one of those big like SETI antennas. Finds out about aliens, but aliens are here. They're disguised as humans. I forget. But you could tell the aliens because they could make their legs go backwards like a grasshopper.
Oh, that sounds kind of fascinating.
Yeah, well, the special effects do not hold up.
Right.
Well.
Did you get the movie Arrival confused with ABBA album Arrival?
Well, there you go. Another.
I'm here to. Oh, I can't wait till they play Dancing Queen.
Yeah, I'm here for the listening party.
Yeah. Suddenly, no, it's not some Swedish.
I'm
pop.
so glad they finally started playing albums at the movie theater, like I've been asking them to.
Well, if it's accompanied by a laser light show, Tom, you could do a lot worse on a Saturday night.
You're thinking planetariums. I'd like to go to a planetarium. I haven't been to a planetarium.
I haven't been to a
time.
planetarium in a long time either. Kind of makes me wish that I was a drugs man.
Yeah, and I've never gone to see like Pink Floyd.
Do they still do that?
I imagine that's probably all planetariums do nowadays.
No.
Yeah.
Space is
fascinating. That's where the money is.
No, everybody wants to be in space. You know,
space is as fascinating as the licks of Pink Floyd, the hot licks.
Oh, screw those hot licks.
And
sucks to those hot licks.
Trippy melodies. No, I'm sure
Pink Floyd, by the way. Go suck an egg, Roger Waters. I had enough. Oh, man, wow, they're so thoughtful. Oh, there's symbolic noises on here. Shut up. Get out of here.
They're so thoughtful. That's one of the Pink Floyd's very thoughtful. That's one of the
they're
give
like
gifts. They remember when nobody else does.
Yeah,
that's what you meant, right?
That's what they're known for. Yeah,
okay. Well, that's nice.
Generous.
Well, you know what? Maybe it'll teach a lesson to all those young rock and rollers that they don't have to be so rude to their parents.
Yeah, it's true.
You can be nice and thoughtful like Pink Floyd.
Yeah. So it's called Ghostbusters Answer the Call, I think now.
It's not called Ghostbusters Answer the Call, Grandpa.
I think
it's just called Ghostbusters.
I think they rebranded it for the home video release, Tom.
But why would Answer the Call? That doesn't mean anything.
Tom, oh my God, I'm so angry with you right now. I mean, all I know is that as soon as the movie ended, it says Ghostbusters Answer the Call on the friggin' screen.
Yeah. It's just a nice positive message to leave the theater with.
Yeah, it's better than... Look, and this is the problem, Tom, because that movie was very polarizing.
It's like, this is the problem. They cast ladies in the roles meant for men.
No, see, who cares? They cast 4 of the funniest people in the world right now, and they were all very funny.
Let alone women.
Yeah,
who normally are not funny at all.
The story,
Uh-huh.
or not even the story, because who cares about a story in a movie like that? Like, you're there for the laughs.
Well, what if you're there to learn a thing or two about ghosts? Maybe you've got a haunting you'd like to...
You're not going to learn anything about ghosts.
Wow.
Tom, did you learn anything about ghosts in that? I mean, you are a noted expert in
right.
spooks and specters.
Man. Yeah.
So probably not.
Tim, I looked up how much a ghost detector costs. Very reasonably priced nowadays.
What kind of ghost detector?
You know, like EMF. You can find the fields.
EMF?
Yeah, man. Electromagnetic fields.
Why don't you get one?
Because
Oh my
then I'm
God.
going to be scared all the time,
Yeah,
Tim. What
you
if
live in a former hospital,
Yeah.
too.
Oh, am I going to buy a ghost detector and be like, oh, good, there are ghosts here? Well,
I mean, you're going to think
they're still invisible.
Oh, yeah, and like, again, nobody's ever been killed by a ghost, Tom.
Tim, I've got some YouTube videos to show you that beg to differ.
I hope, look, I don't hope that you get ripped limb from limb by a ghost.
It's not necessarily going to be a violent death, Tim. A lot of times ghosts make it look like an accident.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah, well, Tim, because what are they going to do? Put in the police report a ghost killed this man?
That's what I want to see, if you want me to believe that ghosts are out there killing people.
No, they're just going to put it as an accident.
It's absurd. In conclusion, I give Ghostbusters Answer the Call 5 out of 5 stars.
All right, Tim. Enough of this. We just took a short break, and it got even more heated about what the name of this new Ghostbusters movie is.
I know when it came out, it hit theaters as Ghostbusters.
Right.
But I think to make things easier in the marketplace, where they are constantly coming out with new bullshit versions of Ghostbusters, the original.
Well, and it's like Edge of Tomorrow was renamed Live, Die, Repeat.
Right. I think for they and especially since so many people were so against this being a Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
I think they were like, we don't want to cannibalize sales of the old Ghostbusters. Right. Let's make this really clear for everybody's inventory systems and for consumers here. Yeah. This is a different movie. It's going to be Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
It should have been Ghostbusters for girls.
Tom, you can't.
But then everybody would have been clear about what it was.
I'll tell you one thing, Tom.
Yeah.
This new Ghostbusters, funnier than the original Ghostbusters.
It's not funnier than the original Ghostbusters.
It is funnier than the original Ghostbusters.
You're
more. It certainly has more jokes.
No. I mean, maybe it has more jokes, but they do not land as well.
And let me ask you this. I think most of the jokes landed pretty well. It's the movie just, I love Paul Feig movies, but anyway,
yes.
When's the last time Bill Murray's been funny? Like, when's the last time because like Bill Murray's in this but this is a very timely discussion we're having, by the way. But like, because he was in that, like, not even one attempt at a joke.
Yeah.
He's not funny in these like dour, wry movies that he's in,
where he's melancholy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, some people might be like, "Oh, I laugh at New Yorker cartoons, and this performance was amazing." But like, when's the last time like Bill Murray, Operation Dumbo Drop?
I never saw it.
That he's elicited a belly laugh from you.
The Man Who Knew Too Little, maybe.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad one. Anyway, sorry. We're not here to talk about. And I like Bill Murray.
And I was going to concede to you, Tim, that the cover of this new Ghostbusters does say Ghostbusters Answer the Call. I believe that is not the name of the movie, but I could see how some corporations would enter that into their system as such. But Ghostbusters Answer the Call...
Where the hell are they getting Answer the Call from, Tom?
That just makes it sound like it's like a made-for-TV movie or something.
Might as well put...
Anyway, that's not what we're talking about this week, Tim. We're talking about a man of mystery. A man of desire.
What?
A man of magic. That man's name is David Blaine White, better known as David Blaine.
Yeah.
We're talking about David Blaine.
I love David Blaine.
Tim, we were talking about David Blaine, what was that, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, during one of our meetings.
That makes it sound like a cover for something.
During one of our arbitration meetings.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've talked about him on the show, but to the best of my research, we have not done an episode purely about David Blaine.
Real quick question.
Yes.
Did you actually do any research?
I went on the Wikipedia page.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's what we do. So, guys, keep that Wikipedia page updated.
Yeah. And then
with our
afterwards, I
episodes.
listened to every episode we've done.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, almost 400 hours worth?
It took forever, Tim. I needed to slow down
Yeah,
time.
neither of us is ever going to be able to run for office. We're here talking badly about the Lady Ghostbusters for 400 hours.
Well, Tim, if the recent election showed us anything, it's that, nope, that won't hurt.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want to those Lady Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
and nobody cares.
Yeah. And as long as you're not a ghost, they can't do anything back to you.
That's true.
we're
I didn't understand. Like, the
Are
technology.
you talking about... No, enough about the new Ghostbusters.
All right, that's fine.
And
Because it's
Tim,
not even
and
really
I'm-
that new anymore.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here listening to you lecture me about the technology. Tim, in the movie, of course, the technology made no sense.
Yeah, okay. It was funny. It was a very funny movie.
Yeah.
The jokes. Anyway, David Blaine.
Yeah.
Tom,
A man who jokes very little. A very serious man.
you and I,
Mm-hmm.
fans of magic, The Craft. Not the movie The Craft.
Right. The craft of magic. The
Yeah,
art.
not witchcraft. Oh,
Right.
God, not witchcraft.
No, not
Ooh.
again.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we once bitten, twice shy. That's what I say.
I was listening to something today where they were talking about how not that many witches were burned at the stake.
Well, you know
Most
what?
of the time they just drowned them.
Yeah. One is too many. But
For witches, Tim? What if they were turning your kids into toads?
they're never turning things into toads.
Not anymore. Now we got rid of them.
I've spent some time in Salem, Tom.
Yeah.
And there's like a witch graveyard that is. One would assume that these weren't actual witches because witches don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was just all these graves of
And
women that they
broomsticks?
killed. No, graves,
Mm.
stones.
Like a pointy hat on top.
No, it's just normal graves.
Yeah.
Here lies, and then the woman's name,
Mm-hmm.
the years
And
that
then
she
next
was
to
alive.
her black cat.
No, mostly just the gravestones. Look like a cemetery.
But anyway, we're talking about David
You
Blaine.
hear a lot of when you walk through there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's terrifying. And a lot of mourners, and guess what? They have green skin and warts.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're still mourning people who died like over 100 years
because
ago.
they're the undead. Are witches undead? No, I
Witches
guess
are not
not. They,
undead.
they killed all of them.
Yeah. Damn.
But
Well,
they weren't
those
actual
ones weren't
witches.
witches.
Yeah, that's true. One would think that witches would not be able to be killed, but I digress.
Depends on how strong of a witch they
Yeah,
are.
someone who's that magic should probably be able to not get killed.
Do you believe in magic?
No, do you?
And I hope you do. Remember
You'll
that
always
song?
have a friend
And
wearing big red
round
shoes.
Do I believe in magic? Oh, that's a complicated question. I never used to, but lately,
You've been becoming a real weirdo lately.
yeah, I have been
Yeah.
becoming a real weirdo lately.
Tell me
too.
why you believe in magic. And I hope you do.
I don't. Well, depends on the magic. I don't believe in magic. I believe in the supernatural more and more.
All right. Yeah, we know, Tom.
Yeah.
We've
And I
heard-
think every once in a while, people can stumble upon something and use magic, summon things.
Okay.
But probably not just for a card trick. That's probably just sleight of hand.
Yeah. Yeah. I often think about why I like magic because I really like watching magic be performed. And it's like, I know it's fake. I'm not an idiot like you who thinks that there's summoning.
It's real.
Oh my God, burn him. Burn him.
Well, yeah, Tim, every magic show we've ever gone to together is ended early with my screams of it's real, it's real. I knew it, it's real.
Burn him.
Burn him,
immediately.
get him.
Yeah. You oftentimes, I don't know how, that one time you smuggled
Oh, God,
in,
I can't breathe.
Yeah, you
He's strangling
smuggled
me.
in a big net and threw it over the magician.
Yeah.
Tried to throw him in the lake.
Yeah.
Drown him?
Well, it was I had brought that net earlier in the day to a local church to have it blessed.
Oh,
no.
Father, burn his skin.
Father, I'm planning to use this net to catch a magician later. I'd really appreciate if you could bless it for me so he can't use any of the devil's tricks to get out of it.
Right. David Blaine.
Yeah.
Where does he fall on your favorite magicians list?
I would say, honestly, I think David Blaine might be my favorite magician.
Wow.
Who would be your favorite magician?
I gotta go with the boys in blue, Penn and Teller.
They're not the boys in blue.
Sometimes they wear blue suits.
I mean, Penn and Teller would be up there for me, for sure. But
it's couldn't be different styles, right? More different. Penn and Teller, they want you to know that it's all artifice. There's no bullshit, and everything that you're seeing is a trick, and they are not magic. David Blaine goes the complete opposite route.
I would argue that he doesn't always go the complete opposite route. Like a lot of times, I think one of the most interesting things about him as a magician is that he plays with deception a lot. Like tricks, things where you think something's just like a feat of endurance is actually a trick. Something you think is a trick is actually just like a feat of endurance.
And that's what I'm saying. Is that he's not like Penn and Teller will come out and be like, "Here's a magic trick,"
right?
And David Blaine will either come out and say, "Here is magic,"
right,
or "Here is a feat of endurance or a stunt," right?
Right.
And like.
And he'll blur the lines.
He wants you to believe whatever he's doing is actually happening. Is actually what he tells you it is, right? And it's never what he says it is, unless sometimes it is. And he tries to blur those lines. Yeah, Penn and Teller will be like, "Hey, we're fucking carnies." Why am I cursing already?
Well, you get real excited about magic.
We're trashy carnies here, and we're gonna pull a trick on you, and we're gonna tell you we're tricking you.
Right. Yeah, but they use that in the same way where sometimes when they're doing that, they're tricking you in a way they're just using that as misdirection.
Yeah. But like David Blaine wants you to believe.
Very different stage persona. I would say that it boils down to what their stage personas believe in magic.
Yeah, exactly.
But they use similar.
Yeah, I don't know what they're like on their free time, Tom.
Well,
I'm not Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't get a good look at a David Blaine when he's not on the clock.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Leo when he's not on a yacht with a bunch of Victoria's Secret models.
The P posse.
Yeah. I see. He's hanging out.
That's what he calls them.
Yeah.
But we'll listen to him about global warming, but not our president about global warming. He's allowed to use the word.
Man, Leonardo DiCaprio is living like the 14-year-old's dream, huh? He's got all these babes around him all the time. And then when he's like, not right now, girls. I'm going to go hang out with my magician friends.
You were an odd 14-year-old, Tom.
So I think I was exactly. I bet if you polled every 14-year-old boy in America, the vast majority, if you were like, you can pick any life you want, they'd be like, I want to hang out with bikini models and magicians, but not together.
All right. Tom?
David Blaine was married to a model.
Yeah. Still is, I think, right?
No, I think they got divorced.
He pulled the old escape routine, huh?
Yep. Do you think his divorce lawyer made that joke a lot?
No, probably not. I bet it was probably a contested divorce.
I bet this is probably harder than getting out of one of those pairs of handcuffs you got in a straitjacket, huh?
All right.
David, I said a joke. Did you hear me?
That's David Blaine's lawyer, ladies and gentlemen.
And David Blaine's just really upset. He doesn't want this divorce to happen.
He's a very serious guy, too.
He's a sensitive man.
Yeah, you don't want this.
He's in tune with the spirit world and the supernatural. You have to be sensitive.
Do you think there's any time that you could get David Blaine to like let his guard down and like be a normal person?
I will tell you, Tim, watching because I've recently watched 3 David Blaine specials in preparation for this.
Nice.
And there were 2 times that I saw him be real, and one was with Woody Allen. When Woody Allen, he did a trick for Woody Allen, and then afterwards, Woody Allen made him a malted like soda. And David Blaine was like still kind of doing a trick or whatever, and then took a sip of it and went, "Whoa, this is awesome!" And it was like the only time I've seen him break character. So you give the man a nice drink, and yeah, he'll break character.
Yeah,
I forget what the other time I saw him break character.
Tom, explain to me what a malted is.
I don't know. I was like, oh, of course, this creep Woody Allen's making malteds in
It's just like
in his kitchen. He's got a malted machine.
You know what, Woody Allen? This is my impression.
It's similar to an egg cream.
Yeah, this is my impression of Woody Allen circa 2016. You ready?
Okay. That's it?
Yeah, I just feel like
he doesn't even talk.
No, I feel like if you're just talking to him, he's always just like making some like weird mouth.
He seemed very upset.
Trying to like get some spit moving in his mouth.
He seemed maybe that's what all the malteds are about.
Yeah.
He seemed very displeased to have David Blaine in his home.
Yeah, guess what? I'm not sure if you know this about Woody Allen. He's a little neurotic.
Yeah. Oh, well, you should have seen how neurotic it was when David Blaine was trying to get these fish he swallowed to pop back out of his mouth. It was apparently took hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yikes. I watched that special. I zoned out at some point. I was doing something. Was that the same one where he regurgitated the frogs in front of Dave Chappelle and Drake?
No, that was a different one.
Okay. So I didn't see that one.
That was the most recent one, I believe.
Yeah, that was a good one. So anyway, Tom, let's go from the beginning.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's go through the list.
Because here's the thing, he started out just doing
like us.
street magic, just hustling on the street, just like me and you out there.
Every day.
What's your card? Is this your card? Of course it's your card. I did a trick.
Yeah.
But he'll never say. Here's what I'm saying, Tom. When he does a card trick, he wants you to believe that he
somehow
altered
used
time
the
and
occult.
space. Yeah. Penn and Teller will say, here's a card trick. I'm going to use sleight of hand to wow you.
Right.
Right? Like, that is the basic. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
So he started out with that street magic, and he did that levitation.
Yeah.
Now, Tom, you and I in high school spent a lot of time trying to figure out what that levitation entailed.
Tim,
right?
when we saw that levitation, that changed everything.
It did.
It was just like, wow.
This is when we started getting all the girls.
Yeah. We're like, that's it. That's it. We just have to learn how to levitate.
That'll impress them, and it worked. And to this day,
To this day,
we're
we're best friends with Leo. Hanging out with him on the boat.
the P posse.
Yeah, and then he goes, you guys got to get out of here. I got David Blaine coming over.
Yeah.
Aww.
Come on.
It's like, nope, never the twain shall mix.
Yeah, he let me hang out with Al Gore one time.
Yeah, well, yeah, the earth-friendly stuff. Yeah. He's lucky.
Al Gore seems like another one that's going to be like the whole time you're talking to him.
I don't think so.
I don't know. He just seems like a dry mouth kind of guy.
Well, he's trying to save the world, Tim.
Yeah, I know, but hydrate.
Hydrate
once
Tim,
in a
he's
while.
trying to not take more than his share.
That's actually pretty selfless of him. Yeah. Well done, Mr. Gore.
Yeah, Tim. Maybe that will be like
President Gore, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe that. Well, you could say Vice President Gore.
Yeah.
Maybe that's going to become like a thing in the future, Tim, like how people were doing like the ice bucket challenge to raise awareness for ALS. Maybe people go dry mouth to raise awareness about the environment.
I don't know that would help anything, though.
Hey, that would bother you a lot if everybody all the time was like,
yeah, I'd be like,
and you were like,
what?
why are you doing that? And they're like, I'm trying to raise awareness about the lack of drinking water.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So he did his first 2 specials, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Let me move this over this way. Street Magic, 1997.
And what was that about?
It was his first television special, and he just walked around kind of going on the street.
Yeah.
And here's what I liked.
Okay.
He was out there with the average Joe and Jane, right? Doing
just
card
stopping
tricks.
people and saying, hey, would you like to see a magic
exactly.
trick?
And they were like, who the hell is this? I don't know. Later on, he did less and less of this in his specials, and he's going with celebs.
Yeah.
And guess what? Celebs are dang hams sometimes, right?
Yeah, sometimes they're a little too...
And I just want somebody, when I'm watching a magic trick, you know what? Stay the F out of the way.
Right.
Know your role. Just play along. Don't try to outsmart the magician.
Yeah.
Don't try to make jokes. Don't try to put. You're
not the
part
star of the show.
Yeah. This guy's got his patter down. Stop trying to throw him off. You're ruining it for the rest of us.
Yeah. There's, I didn't realize, because I was always curious, because David Blaine doesn't tour that much, if for the longest time I couldn't figure out how he made money. So I was like, does he just live off the money from a special every few years or so?
Maybe he just conjures up more money whenever he needs it.
Maybe. But apparently, I don't know if he does this much anymore, but back in the day, he would make his money getting hired for private parties from rich people. That's like how he knows all these celebrities and everything.
I bet he's famous enough that right now he could be like, he can make a year's salary in one night.
Oh, yeah. And I mean,
What do you think he makes a year? 45 grand?
I mean, yeah. I mean, the guy doesn't need all that much.
Yeah.
Tim. He needs a couple of cards.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe some years he's clearing high five figures.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If he's really hustling.
Yeah.
If I were... See, like, I've never thought about, like, oh, man, I wish I were rich. I wish I had all the money and a big house on the hills. I've never really thought about that. But I've never really thought about if I were rich, I could have parties and have David Blaine come and do magic tricks for everyone.
You know what? I'd be like Leo. I'd be like, get out of here.
What? No, I would... The problem would be if I were that rich, everybody'd be stealing stuff from my home because I'd be following David Blaine around the whole night. Just want to see tricks again and again.
I think David Blaine is so perceptive, he'd be able to police that while doing his tricks.
It's probably...
Like, seven of diamonds. Hey, put that down. That's Tom's. That's Mr. Reynolds.
Is that yours?
Is that your Ming vase?
I think if you're hiring him, that's probably like one of the add-ons. Like, would you also like Mr. Blaine to keep an eye on all your valuables?
Right.
And occasionally ask you where one of them is, and then when you don't know, he'll hand it to you or take it out from behind your ear or something, and you'll go, oh, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty... Tom, do you think David Blaine has to travel with a security detail?
When he goes where?
Like at a private party or
I don't think so.
You don't think people are trying to be the man that took down David Blaine?
at a celebrity party, do I think like Josh Brolin's gonna be like?
No, I know Josh Brolin won't, but there's some undesirables in there.
There aren't undesirables at a celebrity party.
Yeah, like Robert Downey Jr. circa 1999.
Right.
You don't think they were like, he might stab David Blaine?
No, nobody wants to be the person. Nobody thinks that he's immortal. Tim, do you think he's immortal?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But if he's not, I want to be the one who takes him out.
I want to be the one who proves it.
Well, not me personally, but like I can see how a psychotic person might think that.
I'm sure when he does these big private parties, he's got his own entourage, of assistants and things like that.
He needs no assistance.
Yeah. But I don't think he needs a bodyguard, Tim. He could just conjure a gun.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Next, he got... and then, after Street Magic and Magic Man, just card tricks, a little levitation.
Right.
Tom, I know how the levitation's done.
I know how it's done, too, Tim. I bought a videotape about it.
Man, the 90s were weird. We had to like order a videotape off the internet.
No, I think I had to like drive very far to a magic shop to buy a videotape about how a magic trick.
Every time I go into a magic shop, it takes all my cunning or all my self-control not to walk out of there with everything, to spend my life savings. And also, I'm too lazy to ever practice the sleight of hand
it's all
that's
about
necessary.
practice.
Yeah. And so I buy these things thinking it's going to immediately make me a great magician. No, they're in the closet with my hockey stick and my baseball glove.
Magic shops always, I'm always real excited when I see one, but when you go into it, it's always like, all right, here's like all the kid tricks that are affordable that you would be able to learn how to do.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of stuff behind the counter that's kind of like, if you even ask, they're going to be like, listen, buddy, these aren't for weekend warriors.
Yeah. I bought a wallet that when you opened it, like a big fire came out of it, a fire wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was using it right before I had to film a music video, right? And I was trying to impress everybody with my fire wallet, be like, oh, I'll pay for that. And then I open it up, and then a big fireball came out of my wallet.
Yeah.
Burned off my eyelashes. Like I had it was my eyelashes turned to dust, and then when I touched them, they all just disintegrated. I had to film this music video with no eyelashes.
Oh, so what's the trick there? If you pull out your wallet and a fireball, I'm sure the reaction of people was like, oh my God, what just happened? What happened? Why had that happen? Oh, what was that? Stack electricity? Is there a gas leak? What's going on?
Exactly.
And then if you go, oh no, it's a magic trick, they'd be like, you did that? Yeah. Why'd you do that? That was so dangerous. You burned your eyelashes off.
But what if I did this instead? They were like, what happened? I'll be like, I don't know. Perhaps some magic. Tom, all right, let's cut to the chase here. We got a lot to cover. He started doing stunts, David Blaine did.
Yeah.
Beginning with his 1999 special, Buried Alive.
Which me and you were live on the scene for.
Yeah.
As reporters. That was some of our earliest magic reporting.
Yeah. On April 5th, 1999, Blaine was entombed in an underground plastic box underneath a 3-ton water-filled tank for 7 days across from Trump Place on 68th Street and Riverside Drive as part of a stunt titled Buried Alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all his stunts had something to do with Trump. Do you think he's going to be the Minister of Magic?
Oh, that would be great.
I'd love to see David Blaine put in charge of something.
Yeah. I mean,
he's not a virulent racist, so
right.
he's got that going for him above all the other.
Yeah. I mean, and he also seems like he's, he's a very hardworking guy. He puts his mind to something.
Yeah. He'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And he'll
even if it requires
he
lying and cheating.
Yeah.
No, actually, I read there was an interview with him. I believe it was in Rolling Stone or Vanity Fair in the lead up to this new special that just aired.
Vanity Fair? More like Vanity Unfair. You know who said that?
Who?
Tony Kaye, the director of American History X, regarding Edward Norton's profile in Vanity Fair, where he took credit for shadow directing American History X.
That has something to do with Vanity Fair.
Well, they printed it.
Yeah.
You got to verify that. Vanity Unfair.
Well, you can say that he boasted about this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how it was phrased.
Anyway.
All I know is it seemed very Vanity Unfair to me.
Now, is this the issue with Demi Moore on the cover painted?
I think that was the only issue that ever came out.
So
we gotta not go out for pre-show beers before recording anymore.
Happy
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
it's us, your two drunk uncles. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, Vanity Fair. Oh, so this interview, they asked him about Trump because they were like, yeah, you've done like a bunch of tricks that have somehow involved Trump or like Trump properties. And that's where he talked about it. He was like, when I was like starting out, I was doing a lot of parties for rich people and I met him and, did a trick for him or whatever. He was like, when I wanted to do this stunt, I realized that this, he was like building something on the west side. It was just a construction, like an empty lot. And I realized it would be perfect. And he's like, I called him up and he was just like, yeah, sounds great. And he's like, and that was it. Like, he's like, I basically cold called him. And he was just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
Imagine the stunts that David Blaine's going to be able to pull at the White House.
Yeah. When he's got eminent domain behind him.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of stunts. But yeah, well, I think, he was, like whenever you would do these things, they would have like a press conference with Trump at like a Trump building.
He wanted attention for it?
Yeah, it was very unlike him, but he wanted attention for it. But it was also like, in fairness to him, like great free publicity to be like, oh, you want to do a trick in this vacant lot that I have? Yeah, it's not going to cost me anything. And like, I get to be on TV again.
Yeah. I don't even have to say racist things about the president to
Not
do it.
yet.
So according to CNN, Blaine's only communication to the outside world was a hand buzzer, which, not a joke hand buzzer.
A man would have to come down there and shake hands with him. If the man was shocked, that means yes. If he was not, he was just given a regular handshake.
There was an around-the-clock emergency crew standing by that could have been summoned by that. And he only had 6 inches of headroom and 2 inches on each side.
Oh, sounds like Delta Airlines.
During the endurance stunt, Blaine did not eat and drank only 2 to 3 tablespoons of water a day. Mm-hmm. But you're just lying there.
Yeah.
I know he was probably doing a lot of this.
He was trying to raise awareness. Raise awareness. Yeah, that was a trick that I thought, like, that was his first endurance stunt, right?
Yeah. And we went, and we gave him a thumbs up, and he gave us a thumbs up right back.
Teenage Tim and Tom were there on the scene.
Yeah.
Did we cut school to do that?
I think so.
Yeah. I think we just didn't go to school one day.
Then we just got on the train.
Oh my God.
Bye, Mom and Dad, go to school.
No, I remember this. I think this was like when we realized, because this was the end of the year, I think this is when we realized that like they weren't really paying attention to where we were.
Yeah.
And we both just like left school early. And we were like, I think we can just like walk out of the building and nobody's ever going to notice.
Yeah. That's a good lesson to learn as soon as you can in life. Nobody's really paying attention to you.
9 times out of 10, and 10 times out of 10, if you walk somewhere confidently, you're fine.
Yeah. So just do whatever you want, but just do it with some goddamn confidence.
Yeah. So let this be a lesson to all the kids out there. If a local magician's doing a big stunt, just walk out of school and go.
Yeah, get on the train and go to 68th and Riverside.
Yeah, go to a big empty lot where there's nothing but dirt.
Give them a
wait around for a while. There was nothing, because remember, we were in line, and it wasn't until we got up to him that we were like, oh, this is it? Oh, I guess it is. Oh, yeah, there he is down there.
Yeah. Give him thumbs up. He gave us a thumbs up right back.
Yeah.
Thanks, David Blaine. You really inspired me.
Well, I mean, at the very least, for me, that verified that he was not an animatronic man.
Right. Which is very important.
He could be an animatronic man all the time. And
that wouldn't surprise me, Tom.
And just
wouldn't surprise me. It's the greatest trick David Blaine ever pulled.
A very advanced, high-tech one. Yeah. But at least in this instance, that did not seem to be the case.
Right. You know how old he was when he did that?
26.
Yeah, well, you hit it on the head.
Yeah.
How'd you know this?
Tim, I looked up. I have a photographic memory.
Okay. So that was a good one. Next was Frozen in Time.
Mm-hmm.
In 2000, February of 2000.
Yeah.
He performed a stunt called Frozen in Time, which was covered on a TV special. He was shown encased in a large block of ice located in Times Square, New York City.
Yeah.
He was lightly dressed and appeared to be shivering even before the blocks of ice were placed around him. A tube supply. February. Oh, no. It was November. Did I say February?
Yeah.
Why did I say February?
Maybe you didn't.
Because this was my my freshman year, my frosh year of college,
Right?
And I was in NYU, and I was just like
You're like, New York's the most exciting place ever. David Blaine's always doing a stunt.
Yeah, so like I would go up to Times Square, me and a friend of the show, Chris, and like we went up there like 3 or 4 times just to see him in ice, and it was. He was in there for 63 hours, 42 minutes, and 15 seconds before being removed with chainsaws. But do you remember this special?
Yes. Because they removed him live.
Yeah, and he came out in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like they had to, like the look on his face was like, I did not think this through. Now, they pulled him, they got him on a gurney into the ambulance. He was screaming for his girlfriend. I think Josie was her name or something. And it was like a little disturbing because like they were like, and now we'll have an interview with David. Oh, nope. Nope.
All right. He's just screaming.
Thanks for watching, everybody. David Blaine did it. Stunt. Goodbye.
He's just screaming and asking everyone if he's dead and a ghost right now.
Oh, yeah. He thought he was dead, right?
Yeah.
So that was a little disturbing. Now, let me ask you this, Tom. Was this an actual stunt, or was this all misdirection?
Right.
He was fine, and guess what? He was replaced by a mannequin at points when they weren't doing things.
Yeah, there's a lot of evidence that says that there were certain times when they had to like refreeze the brick or whatever that he was frozen in. That while they were spraying the water, there was like an elevator that would lower him out and then quickly go back up with like a dummy.
Right.
And, it wasn't like the whole thing was fake, but, he'd get a few minutes.
Right. Take a nice hot shower.
Take a nice hot shower, get a massage, eat, drink, go
kiss
pee-pee.
Kiss his girlfriend. Make out with her hard.
But the thing... I don't know if that's true or not. I'll have to watch the video again. It could be, and in which case that doesn't diminish from it because, he did a good enough job sneaking a bias at the time.
Yeah.
But he did also say that November was a lot warmer than it was predicted to be. And that actually one of the things that made the stunt very hard was that the ice was constantly melting and dripping on him.
Ooh.
So he was just like wet all the time too, which was something they didn't anticipate, which then would make sense why they had to keep spraying this thing constantly and like trying to keep it frozen.
So the world will never know, and I think he will take this to the grave,
but it might be one of those graves where he's just underwater. It might be when he was buried alive.
Yeah, that's true.
He might be able to tell us through a hand buzzer,
or just or give us a thumbs up if it was fake.
Yeah.
Tom, this is when I started to lose a little bit of interest in the stunts. Yeah. And I was like, get back to the sleight of hand, buddy.
Yeah, let's see those cards.
Enough with the stunts and celebs. The celebs. Just get back to your bread and butter. But he did Vertigo.
Yeah.
Not just a great U2 song, a great stunt. On May 22nd, 2002, a crane lifted Blaine...
onto a train.
Onto 100 feet.
It was insane.
100-foot high and 22-inch wide pillar in Bryant Park, New York City.
Yeah.
Now, I was in the city for this. I think maybe post 9/11, I was not in the mood for such frivolity.
It's not in the mood to be tricked.
Yeah, exactly. He was not harnessed to the pillar, although there were 2 retractable handles on either side of him to grasp in the event of harsh weather. He gets 100 feet up.
Yeah.
He remained on the pillar for 35 hours. He ended the feat by jumping down onto a landing platform made out of 12-foot high pile of cardboard boxes and suffered a mild concussion. I remember him jumping down that. I mean, jumping 100 feet onto 12 feet of cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
Is still like enough to give you a concussion, apparently.
At least a mild one.
Yeah. Do you remember this?
I do remember this one.
35 hours. So that's a day and a half he's up there.
Yeah.
I feel like I could do that.
This was one of the ones where I felt like I'm with you, that I started to lose interest in the stunts just because I was like, I know that technically that's hard, but it's not interesting to watch.
Yeah. And like, also, it was cool when he was buried alive and you could go and see him a few feet underground.
Yeah, he was right there.
When he's in the ice and you can go and feel how cold the ice is.
Yeah, and
you
he's
could
a
touch
few
the
feet
ice
away,
and
yeah.
like he can still like this. He's 100 feet up. You're just like, who's that up there? Little Davy Blaine?
Yeah.
Is that Davy Blaine up there?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't bring my theater binoculars. I can't
Exactly.
tell.
Well, I brought my theater binoculars, Tom, because
Well,
I'm
there's-
usually coming from the theater. Wherever I
Right.
go.
Coming from or going to.
Yeah.
And
then,
you've always got real shit seats.
right. And then this is what, yeah, come on. If I'm going to the theater every day, sometimes twice a day,
Yeah.
can't get,
You got to get the cheap seats.
yeah. One time I was going to see the Philharmonic at Lincoln Center, and I had very bad seats. And so we had an elevator, and the elevator was crowded.
Mm-hmm.
And then people got off. They were like, orchestra! And like a bunch of people got out, and they were like, Loge!
All the people with instruments got out.
Yeah. Loge! And then people got out, and then they were like, mezzanine! And everybody got out except for me and the one or two people I was with, and this old lady. And this old lady goes, I guess only music lovers are left.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, lady, I don't love this.
Lady,
I'm just poor.
Lady, I've never listened to a song in my life. I'm not about to start tonight. Mind your own business.
In 2003, September 5th, he began a stunt. And this is when he really lost me, because he's like, hey, guess what? Screw NYC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Potter's Fields Park in London.
Yeah.
He was sealed inside a transparent plexiglass case, suspended 30 feet next to the Thames River, or above the Thames River. Thames?
Tim's River. Timmy's River.
I mean, it was fine,
Yeah.
but it was too similar to the one where he stood on a platform, and this wasn't even as high.
No.
How long was he up there, though? He was
He
up
was
there
up there for like 60 days or something.
Yeah, he was up there for a very long time. Hold on.
And people were throwing eggs at him. Somebody flew a helicopter up with a hamburger, a remote-controlled hamburger.
A remote
A
control.
remote-controlled helicopter.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'd love a remote controlled hamburger.
Well,
right about
no, it'd be crunchy.
now. Yeah, he was up there from September 5th to October 19th.
But that's another one where there's people that say it was a trick, and there was a way that he was getting in and out of that thing.
Right. Which, yeah, maybe, but still, you got to hand it to him.
Still a good trick.
He was 100% nude the whole time.
You have to hand it to him, or if you can't, fly it up with a remote-controlled helicopter.
Oh, you're talking about burgers specifically.
Yes, yeah.
And George W. Bush said something.
Yeah.
He said, the last noted American to visit London stayed in a glass box dangling over the Thames. A few might have been happy to provide similar arrangements for me. There's a guy who knows that he was hated.
Right.
Yeah, hand
it-
it to him on that, right?
And appreciates good magic.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
And I know I don't want to talk about Trump every 5 seconds, but the one saving grace of this administration is going to be like, yeah, this guy probably does like a good magic trick.
Trump?
Yeah. Look, if he was willing to bury him alive in Riverside Park,
Maybe he was trying to kill him this whole time.
maybe Trump will finally succeed in killing David Blaine.
Yeah. Like maybe he was
Could
like, yeah,
succeed
sure,
where,
you could get buried alive in my field. And then he's like, let me just check the locks real quick. And he switched them out.
Yeah, he could succeed where Josh Brolin failed,
Yeah.
killing David Blaine. Drowned Alive. You loved this one. I
Yeah.
wasn't a big fan of this one.
Mm-hmm.
It lasted 7 days. Back in New York City, baby.
Yeah.
Lincoln Center.
That's where the Philharmonic plays.
Yeah. He spent 7 days submerged in an 8-foot diameter water-filled sphere containing isotonic saline in front of Lincoln Center. At the end of the stunt, Blaine attempted to free himself from handcuffs and change after exiting the sphere. After the stunt, Blaine entered into an agreement with researchers at Yale University to monitor him in order to study the human's physiological reaction to prolonged submersion.
What I remember about that trick is that at one point they got scared that he was drowning and they jumped in to get him. Yeah. And it seemed counterintuitive because he was in this tiny little orb and two scuba divers went in through a tiny hole to help him out. It's like, guys, now you're all just stuck in there.
Now, wait, what was the orb?
It was just like a big glass.
So he had air in there? Was air being pumped into this?
He had a scuba mask on.
Okay.
Or a snorkel. Not a snorkel, scuba mask.
Okay.
Attached to air outside.
So he just didn't eat for 7 days? That was the whole... And
yeah.
He got pruny hands?
He got super pruny hands. Yeah. I think that's why it was isotonic saline and not just, actual water.
Yeah, I don't know. All this stuff where he's like, I can hold my breath the longest out of anybody. I don't care about holding your breath.
I do.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. When I was a kid, I only pretended to like the Guinness Book of World Records.
No, because I think when you're breaking those kinds of records, where it's what is his record for breath holding? It's 20 minutes.
17 minutes, 4.5 seconds.
Yeah. When you're breaking records and the record is so far above what a normal person can do.
Yeah.
The average, how long would you say the average person can hold their breath?
15, 20 seconds.
Yeah. I was going to say 30 seconds, maybe.
No, I think most people could do a minute. You want to try it right now?
Well, it wouldn't make for good radio, Tim, but I can hold at my height, okay. I could hold my breath for 3 minutes. Tim, but even that, 3 minutes, and that's something to brag about, but that's nothing compared to this guy.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Nothing compared to Tom Saidis. Mm-hmm. Guess how long it took this guy to surpass David Blaine's Guinness World Record?
How long?
4 months. 4.5 months.
It's not very long at all.
No. So anyway, he did that on Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, guys, dude, I don't want to see you on Oprah holding your dang breath. Go on Oprah and wow her with some sleight of hand.
I think he did that too. I don't think the show was just...
I don't know.
Just him in the water the whole
Oprah,
time.
Tom. It's for girls.
You do watch Oprah, Tim.
Not ever since. Does she still
Not
have
ever
a daily
since it went
show?
off the air.
Does she still have a show on the Oxygen
I
Network?
don't think she does. If she does, I don't hear about it.
Yeah. Well, then where did that Lance Armstrong thing come from? Or was that
I think she
10
still
years
does,
ago?
Hey, that was 10 years ago. I think she still does specials once in a while.
Lance Armstrong has a podcast now.
Yeah. What a dick.
Yeah. All
Stay out of here. We're not doing drugs and riding bikes.
Yeah. Well.
Yet.
In 2006, David Blaine did his revolution stunt where he was shackled to a rotating gyroscope for 16 hours without food or water. Blaine ended the stunt 52 hours later.
Nobody told him, I guess.
Did something go wrong? Could they not stop the gyroscope?
I mean, good gyroscope, Tim. Once you get it going, you can't stop that.
He's got revolution and vertigo.
Yeah,
he's covering the whole latter day U2 discography.
That's going to be the biggest reveal of them all in the end. See, that's another one where, staying on a gyroscope even for 16 hours sounds impossible, but only impossible in that, why would you do that?
Right. Now, wait, hold on. Let's go back, Tom. When he jumped off that vertigo thing,
yes.
When was it? What was the one that we watched? Above the Balloon? No. Drowned Alive? Where was he standing on a thing and he jumped off the thing and then
And
balloons
took him away.
It
was not that one.
Was it the dive of death?
It was the dive of death.
Okay. Yeah, September 2008.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No. Yes.
Because I remember I was living on Long Island. In September 2008, Tom.
No, you must have just been home for a visit.
I don't think so, Tom. Dive of Death, September 22nd, Blaine began his stunt, hanging over Wallman Rink in Central Park and interacting with fans by lowering himself upside down. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
He pulled himself up to drink fluid and restore normal circulation. Reportedly, Blaine risked blindness and other maladies in the stunt. He was widely criticized when, only hours into the endurance challenge, he was seen standing on a waiting crane platform, not upside down as expected. During the stunt, he came down once an hour for a medical check and to use the bathroom. First of all, you have to go use the bathroom every hour. He should go to a doctor if that's the case.
Maybe you do if you're being held upside down.
Maybe.
Tim, think about where's all the pee-pee going to go?
Right out his eyes. He cried a lot.
At the very least, it's going to get mixed up with all the other organs.
Yeah. Tom, we don't have a lot of time here.
Okay.
But that was not it. Because remember, the thing was postponed because Bush had to make an announcement about, like, sending more troops into Iraq.
Like that's what they said, like, screwed up the trick.
Yeah, and that didn't happen in 2008. But whatever. There was one point where, like, and I think it's been scrubbed from his Wikipedia page.
Maybe.
Where, like,
God, who knows
he did
how
a
deep
thing
this
and he
goes.
was supposed to jump off and land in a thing, but instead the idea was everybody would see him float into space and be like, holy shit, magic.
Yeah.
But the winds changed and you could see that there were just balloons holding him up.
Yeah.
And the announcers didn't know what to do and everything was on a delay because Bush was perpetuating a horrible war.
Yeah.
And it was just a dark time in American history.
Where it was like, geez, I'm looking to escape through magic.
Yeah.
And now the magic's not only getting postponed, but screwed up because of this trick. Yeah. Because it was a very strange, he jumped and you just kind of weren't sure what was supposed to happen.
Right.
And yeah. Huge balloons.
Yeah. I was impressed by the sheer size of those balloons.
I remember you could hear people laughing in the crowd.
Yeah.
Because the trick didn't go as planned.
Yeah. That's gotta hurt, man.
Well, yeah.
All right. He did Electrified in October 2012. Why is he doing all these in the fall? He's doing all these outdoor things. Do it in spring, man. It's gonna be nicer.
It's
showers.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious. Let me say this first off. A very unsung hero in the world of magic is the television network ABC.
Yeah.
They've always been the ones who have magic specials on.
Well, Fox had The Masked Magician.
Yeah, Tim.
It is I, Valentino.
Yeah, Tim. Fox had the villain, the enemy of all magicians, where ABC has always been nurturing magicians.
Yeah, they had Penn and Teller's specials on back
Penn
in the
and Teller, David Copperfield, his specials were always ABC.
Let's hear it for the American Broadcasting Company.
Yeah, keeping magic alive.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it has something to do with ratings, that they're like, we do it in the fall.
Oh yeah, it's true. Okay. Electrified. He stood on a pillar surrounded by 7 Tesla coils, producing an electric discharge of 1 million volts or more continuously. The coils were directed at Blaine for the entirety of the endurance stunt, during which he did not eat or sleep. He wore 34 pounds of gear, including chainmail Faraday suit, designed to prevent electrical current from traveling through the body. Some physics professor said he has a conducting suit. All the current is going through the suit, nothing through his body. There's no danger in this. Like, this shit is too elaborate, man. Yeah. Buried alive in ice on a platform that I can relate to. You're doing all this other stuff.
Shot out of a cannon.
Yeah. Do like shot with a gun. That's fine.
Yeah.
not that anybody should shoot David Blaine, but his new special was
Right.
he
and
caught
he
it
and
in
he
a
did
cup.
this trick before where he caught a bullet in a cup.
Right.
But this is a bigger bullet.
So anyway, that was a thing that I didn't even know happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I
saw that one. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But again, it was like, yeah, this is the science of it made it such that it wasn't dangerous at all.
Yeah.
They said like the only dangerous thing was that like the electricity created ozone, and that over like that period of time, him being there, it might not be great for him. And like the sound alone, because it was just constant vroom, 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 electric noises.
Members of the public were able to control the pattern of electric current by accessing screens, and musicians Pharrell Williams and Andrew WK performed solos on a keyboard which controlled the electric discharge. Like, this is a little, like, come on, get down to the primal.
Just
I mean, I love Pharrell, but come on, people.
No.
All right. He's talking about doing a tour.
Yeah.
Now, would you go see this tour?
Would I go see this tour, Tim? It's all I want in life.
What if it was at Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
One of the best nights of my life, Tom.
Huh? Why would I not go if it were at Madison Square Garden?
Because, like, I'll tell you, one of the best nights of my life.
Uh-huh.
I went to a magic show at the Waldorf Astoria with my father and my brother. And it was like, I think like 30 people in the room. And like, this guy, like, just nailing it. Like, everything was great. And like, everybody got a chance to participate. He's like, yeah, this was amazing. It was like one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
My fondest memories. Then I saw Penn and Teller at a theater.
Yeah.
It was similarly great, but also like,
it was Broadway theater. So it's
Broadway. It was bigger, but they rose to the spectacle of it, right? Now, David Blaine, he did that bullet catch in his latest special in front of 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, to me, his strengths are the sleight of hand and like the real life stuff, right?
Right.
And I just feel like he's not a guy that uses big set pieces. And if you're gonna see a guy like him, you want to see him at a private party or in a small room. And you know what? Dang it, you and I might never get that chance. But then we just got to go watch 1997's seminal special, Street Magic.
No, I want to see him do a big show too.
Yeah,
I don't
I'd like
care.
to see that.
Yeah.
But what if he did that bullet thing and he shot his brains out?
That would be horrible.
Yeah, and then you're out $70.
They probably give you your money back.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to pay for the elaborate funeral he's got planned.
Right. Where he gets buried dead.
Yeah. Ooh, wow, buried dead.
Yeah.
Tom?
Still insisting on being buried underwater.
He does a lot of mentalism stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll save this for the end. If you like the show, let's do that shit.
Sure. If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgt.com. You can email us at completeguideeverything@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/completeguide. Follow us on Twitter @completeguide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @TomReynolds.
Follow me at Your Pal Tim.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can do so by supporting our sponsors. You can also go to tcgt.com/Amazon, where you can do your normal Amazon shopping, but make sure that they send a little bit of a cut our way. It's a great free way. Well, not free. The stuff's not free, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. Way to support the show, especially during the upcoming holidays when you're going to be doing all that Christmas and Hanukkah.
That was a real tight explanation you had there, Tom.
I'm just explaining the nature of capitalism to people. You can also support us by going to tcgt.com/pledge and checking out our Patreon, where you get a bunch of fun bonuses, such as weekly episodes of The News starring Tim and Tom. This week, we've got some big news in the world of hamburgers.
Yeah. You can follow me on those things at Your Pal Tim. Did I say that?
Who knows, but now they know.
Yeah. Tom?
Yes.
David Blaine does a lot of mind-reading tricks.
Yeah.
I looked it up online.
Mentalism.
Yeah, and I did this stupidly off the air.
Yeah.
So everybody out there, hold on. Think of a number right now between 1 and 20. Don't say it out loud. Think about it really hard. 17. If I was right, send all your money to the show, to me. Tom? Apparently, that's a thing. People will mostly, and it worked on you before.
Yeah, it did.
But I said, think of a number between 1 and 20, and you just went 17.
Yeah.
What kind of, in what world does that happen?
I thought it was a more complicated trick, Tim. I thought you were going to then take that number and do something with it. Make it appear on my television
more
or
than
something.
like mental math, where it's like, okay, now add, multiply that by 7, and then add the first and last number.
Dark Ages being impressed by that? It's mad.
Tom, think of a number from 1 to 10.
Okay. 7?
No.
Okay.
Wrong. Think of a number from 1 to 4.
3.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, I said it, though.
Well, Tom, stop fucking doing this. You're ruining it. Whenever it's right, you're ruining me. Okay, ready? Think of a 2-digit number below 50. Both digits odd and different.
Okay.
I'm looking in your eyes, figuring it out. It's 37.
No, but that was close.
Oh, 35.
It's 35.
Yeah. Give me a number between 1 and 1,000.
Give it to you?
No. Think of one.
Well, geez, Tim, this is how...
Yeah, I'm not a professional magician, Tom. I'm reading off a goddamn website.
A number between 1 and 1,000?
Yeah.
And no other... All right, I've got it.
It's just 333.
No, it's not 333.
I don't know why this website purports that that would be the answer. Like, yeah, you have literally 1,000 chances here.
Right.
All right. So magic is real, I guess.
That's the takeaway here.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Hopefully, we had a snag. Recording, and Patreon people are watching us record. Did you mention that?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. No, but they saw the whole kerfuffle.
Yeah. So if you're a $10 plus Patreon subscriber, you can go watch the live feed and find out the original version of the last 10 minutes of this show.
Yeah. And boy, is it going to blow your mind.
Yeah. Should we just watch that back and kind of re-record it all?
Sure. I'll transcribe it all out.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
That was a HeadGum podcast.